meeting of the Plain Township Board of Trustees for Monday, November 10th. Everybody will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before us, we do have our agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections by fellow board members or department heads at this time? I have none. No, thank you, Kenny. Yeah. The agenda will stand as presented. That'll start off with the sheriff's report. Is there anybody in the crowd that has anything for the sheriff's office that they wish to address? Okay, nothing for the sheriff's report. And turn the detective's report over to Detective Koenig.
Thank you. I have the monthly report for October 2014. We had 727 calls for service, down slightly from October 2013. We responded to 80 crashes, 8 crashes with injuries, 89 alarms, 136 traffic stops. That increased from October 2013, 82 citations, and 33 arrests. I handled 16 follow-up cases and had 7 closed cases out of those 16. That's a list of what I had.
That's a good rate.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
This one that says assist under it, you were on the township on that, or that was something from our township that you went after?
It actually was in our township. We received a call history at one of the 777s.
Okay.
And we're reporting to one of their state representatives had received a call and was curious, so we looked into that and reported back to them on how we responded and what we did over the last, I think, year is what they were asking for, so generated a report from them.
I like though, when it says closed cases, that means that, you know, we have some attack rates.
Absolutely.
Closed and get right some good things.
Thank you, Detective Conrad. That will take us to, let's see, nothing under unfinished business. It'll take us to new business, and I'm going to turn that over to Highway Superintendent and Interim Administrator for tonight, Joe Iacino, which let the record reflect Lisa's excused from this evening, so yeah, on vacation.
Item number 1 is a resolution to approve the purchase of an OKI data black and white copy machine for the fiscal office from Copyright, not to exceed $3,300.
So move.
Second.
Pronounce OP data.
Discussion. Just as a point of clarification, I know we'd actually even looked at the options for leasing and so forth, but given the cost and really what Anthony's office needs, I understand this will be the best solution.
Yeah, it comes with a 5-year guarantee too.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Leo?
Yes.
Mr. Gevasis?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution by the Plain Township Board of Trustees to authorize membership in the CLOUT for the year of 2015.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion. I mean, every year we talk about this, whether or not we get value out of it. And that, I think outside of 2 years ago, when Cloud actually come up to make a sales pitch on why to go in, outside of our news, you know, the township OTA quarterly newsletter and stuff like that, and the monthly stuff, I still don't necessarily feel like we've.
Well, it's not as much as Cloud, because Cloud is actually working on behalf of now the larger townships. Our issue has been more so lately with the OTA in general, because they're more focusing more on issues that are involving, you know, smaller populated, you know, townships in the state of Ohio. And for some reason, we can't get them both on the same page.
I just figure it's worth bringing up for
Oh,
discussion.
yeah. I mean,
Until we can get those two in some type of unison.
we got to
some
have
priorities.
something like this. Plus, I mean, we need to get, you know, the OTA in sync. Because wasn't it the OTA that came out, not Cloud?
Well, I mean, it's almost a it's really a subset of That's why,
It's $200 a year.
yeah. I know it's not much on the dollar amount, but the fact that we continue to expend, bring it up.
If the board decided to not renew, I could argue against it.
I just wonder if we go 1 year without it, what realistically are we missing out on?
Mr. Howes, I routinely attend zoning meetings that the OTA has their office on practically a quarterly basis. And the issues between the large and the small townships surface there. So happens to be a lot of times that the larger townships will end up going off and sitting together and going over various issues also. So I think it's just kind of part of the way the state is set up, and the township set up the way it is. We have such very, very small rural townships, and obviously some very large ones. I think they try. I know the meetings that are held for my group, they try to get items of both.
Okay. Further? Roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Item number 3 is a resolution to authorize charges for the listed false alarms below.
Also move there's 3.
Second. Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Item number 4 is a resolution to authorize payment to Worcester Brothers Landscaping for October 2014 composting of yard waste materials.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion? Just from yard waste composting, we've been pretty busy.
Yeah, these
No,
last 10 days have been really busy. Tomorrow's supposed to be the last real nice weather day for this week, so we're going to open it. Fire chief's going to have his guys open it and close it, so we don't have to.
It's probably a good
This
idea.
past weekend was really busy.
There's a lot of leaves still on
Is
the
it just the
trees.
end of this month, 7 days?
Take up right up till Thanksgiving.
I
Wednesday
tell you what,
before Thanksgiving.
I tell you what, guys, it's gonna be close again because these trees held on too long again, and it's like, they're not really all down yet, so I don't
Some that are
know.
bare at home and some still have a lot of leaves on them too.
We may, at the next meeting, have to consider it.
It's a mess out there yet.
Yeah.
Roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
And Mr. Haas?
Yes.
And item number 5 is a resolution to authorize the trustees, fiscal officer, administrator, and department heads to attend the Ohio Township Association Winter Conference in Columbus from January 28th to January 31st.
I will so move.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Iacino, it's going to take us to the fiscal officer's report, turn over to Mr. Flex.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item number 1 is a request for a resolution to authorize payment for the pending warrants in the amount of $84,225.26.
I will so move.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is a request for a resolution to authorize the payment of the regular payroll in the amount not to exceed $220,000.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
And Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is a request for a resolution by the board to authorize the payment for the following claims as provided by AllCare.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
And Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4 is the financial report. Fiscal Officer number 5 is a request for a resolution by the board to authorize the following transfers.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 6, it's a request, or 6A, I should say. It's a request for a resolution by the board to authorize the benefits of longevity pay on November 14, 2014 to the members of the Plain Township Firefighters Association who meet the attachments as of the attached schedule.
So move fiscal officer number 6A.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 6B is a request for resolution by the board to authorize the payments or the benefit of longevity pay payable on November 14, 2014 to all non-bargaining unit employees who meet the requirements of the attached schedule.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 7, it's a request for a resolution by the board to authorize myself, the fiscal officer, to request an additional amended certificate of estimated resources in the amount of $214,887.90.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 8 is a request for a resolution to authorize a refund as follows for overpayments according to emergency medical services as requested by Ohio Billing.
So move fiscal officer 8.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Finally, Fiscal Officer number 9 is a request for a resolution by the board to close out the capital equipment fund. That was money being set aside for the rescue truck, and authorize the fiscal office to certify the amount of $0 left in that to the auditor.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
And Mr. Haas?
Yes.
That concludes the fiscal officer's report for tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Flex. There's nothing under the administrator. It's going to take us to the fire department, and then turn that over to Chief Snyder.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Item number 1 is the monthly report.
It's good.
Okay. Item number 2 is a resolution for reimbursement to Rob Ward for $271.57 for healthcare membership to the collective bargaining agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Item number 3 is to authorize purchase and payment Altair 4X atmospheric monitors and 5 universal pump probes, not to exceed $5,500. These are atmospheric monitors, replacing the ones that are about 15 years old that we carry on our trucks and only do oxygen, CO monitoring, LEL.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
And Mr. Lino?
Yes.
And item number 4 is to authorize a purchase and payment of gasoline, oil, and diesel, not to exceed $20,000.
I'll submit fire department 4.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
That's all, thank you.
Okay. Now, thank you, Chief Snyder. Turn it over to Highway Superintendent, Mr. Iacino.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, item number 1, I just want to take a few minutes to thank the citizens of Plain Township for passing the levy and entrusting us with new funds that will allow us to continue to move forward with paving and drainage areas and equipment that we need. Hopefully we can continue improving our snow removal process. At the same time, I'd like to thank this board for taking the time and looking at the seriousness of this need of this levy and putting it on the agenda for us to continue forward.
I think our efforts have spoken for themselves with respect to the community's passing of it. I mean, I don't think there was a rock that was left unturned through different cost savings measures, whether it's salt controls to road paving techniques to, I mean, we've repaired equipment about as far back as it can go to where the frames no longer are getting to the point of supporting new cabs and beds and, you know, like,
I think we squeezed out a lot. That's right. Once again, thank you, everybody. Item number 2 is the monthly report for October. Any questions?
here we go.
And item number 3 is just, I received a call from Sergeant Ron Purdue earlier last week. They're gonna have one more over at checkpoint on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, November 26th. From 6 to 8, we'll be down here on Easton in front of the old Station 4. And then we'll move down to Middle Branch down by the car wash down there from 8 to 10. See you there, Bill.
I won't be at that one, unfortunately.
November 26th?
Yes.
What time again?
6 to 8,
It's
8
6
to
to 8.
10.
We move pretty quick, yeah, so around 10:30, probably by 4.
Yeah. This has been good. We've had 3 or 4 this year in the last
4.
This is
couple
double.
months.
We've already had 4, this might be the 5th.
That would be the 4th one,
At least.
yeah.
They've been pretty successful too.
Very successful.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. It's going to take us to zoning, Mr. Fall.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 1 is the monthly report for October.
The only actually is a quick question, our new businesses, EV's Pub and Party Center,
Well,
did it change ownership or something?
No, what happened, they finally got their certificate of conformance. There was a little bit of delay in its inspection, so they got their, it's again here, sometimes they're a little bit, they lag a little bit sometimes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 2, I'd like to have a brief discussion regarding 2301 26th Street Northeast. This is a property that we initially looked at back in May that was having issues with its foundation. And we've been looking at the possibility of demolishing this structure and a detached garage along with it. And we've been working with the property owner, and who's in the audience this evening. And I believe he would like to come up and say something. There's been issues back and forth with insurances and mortgages and a lot of various things going on. And the house is still there. I think, we either need to come to some discussion as to what can be done to attempt to save this structure possibly over the winter, to stabilize it some more, get some kind of plan in place on this. We've all been very, we've been trying to work with each other, obviously for quite some time, and I think we just want to bring this up because we have a contractor on hold. So we do have some issues. So, Mr. Scalia, if you'd like to come up, please.
Mr. Scalia, too, if you'll just state your name and address for the record for the fiscal officer.
I don't even know the address, really. It's 26th Street Northeast. I own 2 property there. Really, it's 2 property and some lots. And this house, like you said, has been going on for quite some time. So the foundation came in. So I'm paying insurance through the bank. And they said they're not responsible. So we're going through lawyers. Anyway, long story short, I waited too long to get a lawyer. So after supposedly a year, they're not responsible anymore. But they offered me like $1,400 to fix the house, which is impossible to fix the house. So I've been going through with the bank, try to settle this. I said, well, one or two things are gonna happen. I'm gonna go bankrupt, be done with it, or we're gonna settle, and we give you whatever that's worth the house. So we settle. I pay my money to the bank. Now we're waiting for the bank to give us some kind of deed, something to say, yes, you did pay, yes, which we did not receive anything to this point. It's not like we can get the phone and call somebody and talk to somebody. They gotta call you, and you gotta wait all day. For them, it's like a wait call. I don't know how this works, but my wife's been going through this more than I have. I've been traveling quite a bit. So, and I just talked to Mr. Dennis about 3
We've
weeks.
been talking back and forth several times.
Yeah, several times. So I know I know the house, they says, you know, I'm gonna fall in. No, it's not, because I went in and I put post, the house has been like this almost 2 years. It's how long I lose money on this house. I've been paying, so I'll be losing a lot of money on it. So now, all of a sudden, I heard the house is gonna be demoed. Well, I don't quite like that, because I put a lot of time and money in the house, and I'd really like to fix the house. As soon as I get some kind of paper saying, then I'm gonna come back and you know, and tell me, hey, you gotta pay the full amount, then, you know, I will fix the house. But for me to go and fix the house now without any paperwork, might as well just say, hey, throw my money out the door and be done with it. So that's what I'm standing right now. And I got several other properties in Plain Township, as you guys know. So in my house, they all look good. There's nothing wrong with them. So
To Mr. Splitter's benefit, it was evident that they were attempting to do some repair work at the house, around in the interior and things like that. But Mr. Williams and I thought it was necessary to try to bring this to a head, and this has been dragging out. We've had a couple of resolutions passed to hire contractors, that type of thing. So we wanted to clarify, or help to clarify what's going on, and we'll hopefully try to work to get an equitable solution for everyone here.
yes, that's what
Do you mind if I,
No, go ahead.
please.
what, I'm not understanding the situation with this settlement with the bank. What have you worked out with them?
We come to a conclusion what they want. We settle for set amount of money.
Okay,
We owe this much, but we settle for the amount of money.
and you get a deed in
I'll
return
send
for
them
that?
the money.
Okay, what do you get in return?
That's what I'm saying, nothing.
Well,
I
that's
send
what
my money
concerns me.
through the bank.
Right,
So my banker, we got verification, all that.
okay.
So we did send the money. So we got letters stating they received the money. It's what, only thing we got.
In exchange for the money, what is your understanding of what you are to receive?
Sounds like.
My deed.
Okay, that's what you're supposed to get as a deed to
Yes,
the house?
Yes,
Okay.
because the house, at this point, is paying for it.
And so you're waiting until you have that deed so that you're sure you're not working on a house that you don't yet legally own?
Yes, thank you.
And once you have that deed, is your intent to fix that house
Oh,
up?
yeah, 100%.
And do you have any kind of a timetable you can?
No,
give
it's
the board?
what we've been discussing.
Okay,
Again, I cannot pick the phone up and call somebody and say, hey, you know, I need to talk to regarding my, they say, we will have you a well call at 3 o'clock, 3 to 4 o'clock.
Right.
And so you gotta wait there, and maybe they call you, maybe they don't. And then they give you somebody that really speaks a lot worse than me, so it's like, you know,
I'm sorry.
well, you know it. So, what I'm saying is, you know, and you got 2 hours invested, just waiting, and then, you don't understand what they're saying. Then, you know, back again, really, they don't tell you anything.
okay.
So, and this has been going on for 2 years.
I have also attempted to call, I've left messages and I've sent emails
Well, I think
Do the
it's,
same thing.
you have a pretty long-standing history of, almost every time we've ever demoed, it's because we don't get a response, we don't have a homeowner, we don't have someone
We have someone
to
who's
work with.
Yeah, he's gonna work.
And, you know, if you wanna set some parameters here, I think that might be a good idea, but certainly that's up to you guys.
But then again, I'm gonna say something else. Any of you guys drove on 26th Street over there?
Not recently.
No, in the last.
And I invite you guys to drive down there, please, and really check it out before you make up your mind.
Well,
Also, I need you to look at the house next to my property.
That's what always happens.
And I knew you knew that that's gonna happen, so, because this is something we gotta, you know, because my property now is, I got a nice house, and next door I got a junkyard, so what's gonna happen there?
How soon after you get this deed or the paperwork back from the bank are you prepared to start kind of the process of renovating that home?
I lost a lot of money already, believe me, I'm not gonna lose no more on that house, it's gonna be done quick,
Okay,
so.
well, you guys can,
And then another thing we got, they brought some dirt, which supposed to be dirt, which I'm in the construction business. So, and I know what is supposed to go down in the basement. I don't want no cement blocks, I don't want no crap, excuse my French. I want dirt, if it is gonna happen.
The contractor actually called me and said someone had dumped things there, at the pile of concrete and stuff.
Yeah,
Was not dumped by the contractor that we had hired.
It wasn't?
No, someone else
Well,
saw a
tell you
pile
what.
there and dumped it.
Well, that's what
And
you're saying, but
he-
my
he-
nephew,
Well, he knows that that's not, I already told him that was not to go in then.
okay, so my nephew lives next door, and same truck dumped the same stuff both times. So,
Well, he's aware
he can
that,
say whatever he wants to say.
well, he's aware that I would not permit that to go
Because,
in.
for example, I'm gonna give you an example. I used to live on Maple, Northeast, and I built a garage. And right now, that garage is probably leaning by 6 foot down. And it's not on my property, it was my property. But that's what they did. They filled the basement up with junk. So you put a garage, what's gonna happen?
It's gonna settle.
It's settled, but, and you can see it, you drive 40 miles an hour, you still see it. So, that's how bad it's settled. So, again, I will fix that house, but, and then again, I wish somebody would have said, hey, the house gotta be demoed. I got people, you know, they can demo the house and half the price of what this guy was charging, whatever. I'm in construction, I know what the deal is. So.
but you don't want that, right? If I'm understanding you correctly tonight, you don't
Oh,
want that?
no, God,
Okay.
no. But what I'm saying is, if it does come down to that,
Right,
I want to hire my own guy. Because it's what I.
well, if we get to that, we can talk about it, but
It's
obviously
all right.
that's gonna be.
I'm
our
gonna bring
dilemma.
everything, because I'm about ready to leave going out again, so I don't wanna, all of a sudden, hear all this never was discussed, so this.
Right.
Oh, no, I wanna save the house. I
Okay.
put too much work, too much effort into that.
I don't need all the work for this work.
let's have it.
I would say I'd probably set a time period to check in on that, because the paperwork's a big issue. If that's what he's waiting on to start the process, then I think it's kind of up to you to say, look, let's make sure we get that by, if it's 4 weeks, you know, whatever you guys decide. And I don't know how, you know, much he can push on that either.
And that's what I was gonna say.
With a bank that doesn't care and has a
I mean,
meeting
you're
going
welcome,
out.
you guys, you're welcome to, I give you the phone number to the bank, welcome to go for it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all I can tell you. And I can give you my bankers, they'll give you the result, I did pay the money, you know, for the house, you know. But I'm not gonna go put more money into it
I understand that.
where I'm gonna lose the house, or, you know, whatever, it's foolish, I mean.
Right,
So, that is where we at.
okay.
All we can do is,
Yeah.
either we wait for him to call us, or we temporarily call him back and forth,
Well, yeah,
until we know what the keys are.
And Mr. Splee is out of town quite a bit, as he said. His wife and I email back and forth kind of on a regular basis, and I would,
Yeah.
you know, we've been doing that all along, so we can continue for a while longer. And
Yeah.
the only thing I would ask Mr. Splee to possibly do is, we do have some, our road department put some snow fence up around the perimeter of the house. If maybe
I saw that.
you could remove that and put a little more permanent fence around the house for us, so they could get their snow fence back in time for snow.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
You do that?
Yeah.
Then why don't we just kind of keep the
It's
lines of
fenced in.
communication open? And-
2 ways fenced in the side and the back anyway, so it's like, only thing I gotta do is, just, yeah.
Just around the house.
Okay.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yep, yep.
Okay, well, we'll just kind of keep talking, and hopefully that deal will come through quickly, and we can.
Believe
make
me, as
something
soon as I hear an answer or a piece of paper or something, you guys will know.
Yeah, just, I ask correctly, just stay in touch for every couple of weeks or something. We'll try to keep working with you as we have been since.
I appreciate
since
that,
May.
gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you,
Well,
sir.
thank you for coming.
Nice seeing you again.
Good seeing you.
Take care.
See you, buddy.
Thank you, gentlemen. I just wanted to bring that, this has been a long-standing issue, and I just wanted to make certain that we're all on the same page on that one, and I think we are, so I appreciate that. Item number 3 is something I've been working with Chief Snyder, Joe Iacino, Rob Steinberg, a lot of different people on the idea of purchasing and looking into a large format printer scanner, plotter, something that can be used by all departments. So what happens is we get an engineering firm or a design firm or someone sends us a PDF, a plan or a drawing. There's no way that we can plot that out here. I can maybe get it to an 11 by 17 or something, and it's pretty difficult to read and see. Chief can use it for his fire reports, for incident reports. Joe could use it for any kind of road plans, anything that comes in. We could use it for economic development. If the developer wants to show us something big in a larger area.
Like some of these residential.
Yes, residential subdivisions. Proposals like that. The systems we're looking at are similar to what Jackson Fire Department runs with Jackson Zoning, Regional Planning Commission, Canton Water, local engineering firms. But we're looking at $8,000 to $10,000 expense. But it is something that I firmly believe will bring our department and all of our other departments up to par with other areas. And I think it's needed, that's the only way we have to get a large format.
Would the expense be burdened by zoning, or would
I
it be
could-
split? Would it be split? or
I could burden the expense, because we have the room, we could house it here. The system we're looking at actually has a system on it whereby we could figure out amount of paper utilized. If, for example, road department had a large number of plots to do, we could actually account for that, for the paper and the ink and the time that it takes to print all those things. So we could break it out per department if need be on a cost basis.
I just want to add that we were at a meeting earlier last week that we could print something off of that we were looking at.
the drainage.
That would be able to do it with that.
How big is this? Is it big?
I don't know if you're familiar with the old large format copy machine we have, and that's 1980 and it doesn't work anymore. It's about that size. Because it'll print out a 36-inch wide sheet, scan up to a 40, and then you have other things on it. So, but we need to move up into the 19th century. But I really believe this is something that will serve the township for a long time.
Do we have any specific quotes already, or is that?
I've received a couple that we're looking into and going through them. I wanted to bring this up. If you find this worthy, then I'll do some more work on it for our next meeting and present you some prices. That's why I said we're looking probably in the $8,000 to $10,000 range.
I heard you make a comment earlier, like out in Jackson, how it works for all the departments, but I thought I heard you say something about how it ties in.
Well, I mean,
regional planning.
Well, regional planning uses the same system.
Okay.
The ones we're looking at are it's a common type system, whether it gets down to this model versus another model. But these are the types of things that are utilized now by your city engineering departments, various townships now, all the local engineering firms, architectural firms.
What's the life on one of these pieces of equipment? And are there annual recurring service maintenance costs?
There are maintenance agreements that you can get, kind of a long-term warranty ideas on them. Jackson didn't get the long-term warranty for the simple fact that the machine has a good enough reputation and they've been using it. The service call is about $150 an hour, but they haven't had a service call in over 2 years, and the warranty was for 2 years. And the warranty cost was around $2,500, I believe. Same thing with a couple of engineering firms I've checked with. It's one of those things, you get a long-term warranty, you don't. And we can break, when I get all the information, we can take a look at the various factors, the costs and what's involved with and without warranties, so.
I'd be interested to see more details on that.
Right,
I'm really more so interested in what some of the specific,
Right.
seeing an actual example of something that they come off as, whether
We
you
can
get
get
something
Sure.
from Jackson.
I can have that, I can get that.
You know,
I
whether
just
it's a
wanna-
mix of road and
Yeah.
fire or something, so, I
Right.
mean, it'll help me visualize
Sure.
exactly.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, that's what I wanted to start bringing up the discussion tonight,
Okay.
so that pull this stuff together when we're ready to present, we'll know what we're coming back to.
Okay. Alan, Linda, do you
Yeah,
have anything
that's
else?
it all, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. It's going to take us to our Parks Department. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Steinberg.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 1 is the monthly report.
Okay.
Item number 2 is simply a reminder about Winterfest being Saturday, December 6th at Diamond Community Park. It's the 6th one. It'll be from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. and we are chock-a-block full of performers. There's some vendors, there'll be concessions, and some familiar faces. So we invite everybody to come out and enjoy it.
What's that, December 6th?
December 6th, Saturday, December 6th.
6 o'clock.
What's that?
Time.
5:30. Okay.
Okay, and the last item I have for gentlemen's night is a payment for Miller and Company, a resolution for such, for the services performed during the Buffalo Cup, which include drop-off, pickup, pump-out, cleaning, and the hand-washing stations.
So moved.
Seconded,
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
yes.
Mr. Geovasis?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all.
Thank you. There's nothing from the law director. It's going to take us to communications. You want me to go ahead and read it? or- We've got a thank you for the fire department and Canton Country Day School. It reads, Dear Chief Snyder, we are writing to commend the 2 exemplary firefighters in your department. Last week, Captain Troy Slayball and firefighter Paul visited the preschool and junior kindergarten classes at Canton Country Day School for a fire safety presentation. Their respect and patient manner with the children had them engaged from the beginning to end, and the opportunity to climb inside a fire truck and spray the fire hose afterward was the icing on the cake for them. We greatly appreciate the manner in which these men provided an unforgettable learning experience for our students. Plain Township is fortunate to have men of this caliber serving in its fire department. Sincerely, Barbara Anderson, junior kindergarten teacher, and Rebecca Rand, preschool teacher. Nice work by the guys, Chief. Okay, it's going to take us to public speaks. Is there anybody in the crowd that wishes to address the board? And close public speaks. Concerns of trustees, anything by my fellow board members?
Thank you.
Concerns of the fiscal officer? It takes us to the approval of the minutes for October 28th, 2014, which I will so move.
Seconded,
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Lino?
yes.
Mr. Geovasis? Mr. Hawes?
Yes. There is a need for executive session, so be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Trustees, Stark County, Ohio, to adjourn to executive session at 6:40 p.m. from the regular meeting of is authorized under Ohio Revised Code 121.22G for the purpose and consideration of 1A, appointment of a public employee or official, 1B, employment of a public employee or official, 3, or 1F, compensation of a public employee or official, and 3, a conference with the law director or other routine counsel concerning pending or imminent court action.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Lino?
Yes.
Mr. Geovasis? And Mr. Haas?
Yes.